Today we're going to show you how to export your files correctly for UV printing. We'll cover everything beginners need to know: alignment, bleed, and proper file setup. One key point: the size of your exported artwork must match the file that you import into the ArtisJet workstation. This keeps everything perfectly aligned. I'll take you step by step through the whole process, from preparing your files to importing them, so your prints come out exactly as you design them. Let's get started. Alright, so I already have my image imported into CorelDRAW, so let's create the main jig. I start by clicking on the photo, and then I go to Object, Shaping, Boundary. This creates a clean outline around the image, separate from the photo itself. I select the outline and I rename it Jig in the object's docker. This jig represents the actual product size and helps keep everything organized in the file. Now let's create the invisible jig. I use the contour tool, I click on the jig and drag the contour out to 5 mm. I break the contour apart and rename the outer curve as Invisible Jig. This invisible jig is extremely important. It controls alignment and artwork must never overlap it. Your artwork can overlap the jig or the product for the bleed, but if it overlaps the invisible jig, the print will not line up on the UV printer. Now let's add a bleed. I make the image 1 mm bigger in both width and height. Now you can see it overlaps the jig slightly. I increase it by another millimeter just to be safe. So now the image overlaps the jig, but it still stays inside the invisible jig. This gives us a clean bleed without affecting alignment. Once that's done, I select the invisible jig again and make sure it has no fill and no outline because we don't want to print it. Now, let's export the color file. I hide the jig layer so now only the image is visible. Then I go to File, Export, choose TIFF and rename the file as Color Only. Before you click OK, look at the width and the height. This is very important. These dimensions must match when we import the file to the workstation. Let's create and export the white file. I select the image again and go to Object, Shaping, Boundary. This creates a new boundary around the image that was sized up. I rename this boundary white in the object's docker. I hide the image layer and fill it with black. The printer does not recognize white, so black tells the printer where to lay down white ink. I bring the jig on top to visually confirm that everything still overlaps correctly, and it does. I move the jig back underneath since it doesn't need to print. Then I go to File, Export, choose TIFF and rename it as white. Again, I check the sizing and everything matches, so I click OK. Let's export the jig file. I hide the white layer and the image so now only the jig remains visible. The invisible jig is still there, you just can't see it. I go to File, Export, choose TIFF and rename it as Jig. I check the sizing one last time, make sure it matches and click OK. Make sure you have these files directly saved to your desktop. If files are saved too deep inside folders, it can affect how colors are processed later on. Now that we've prepped and exported all 3 files, before we print everything together, let me show you how to import these files into the workstation and explain how the different print modes work. Here we are on the workstation, so let's create a new job. I click at the top left on New Job and I import the jig file from the desktop. Next, I turn on the metric panel. At the bottom left, you can see the width and the height. This matches the size we exported from CorelDRAW. I set the X and Y position to 10 mm so the job isn't sitting right on 0 point of the bed. This just avoids positioning issues. Then I click Print, go into Properties, select White Only, click OK and send the job. Back in the workstation, I select the job and I press Print. While the jig is printing, I now click on New Job again and I import the color file. When the options come up, I choose to Selected Frame, not to New Frame, just so the artwork drops straight into the jig. I click OK and quickly confirm that the size still matches. I click on Print, go to Properties, select Color Only and send the job to the workstation. In the workstation, I right-click the job and choose Preview to confirm the color file is there. I close the preview, I right-click again, select Set and choose Bidirection for a faster print. On the right side of the job panel, you can see the print direction confirming the mode is correct. And at the top right, you'll see the estimated print time. Now that the color print is done, you can see what happens in color only mode. Not only do the white areas not print, but the colors also look flatter and less vibrant because there's no white base underneath. So now let's switch over and select the white and color as the print mode and see the difference. Here the print overlaps the jig and you can see the colors layering perfectly. This shows the white base and color layers are lining up correctly. Back in the workstation, I click New Job. The color file is still in the Layout Designer, so I just press Print, go to Properties, select White and Color as the print mode. I click OK and it sends the job to the workstation. Once it's in the workstation, I simply select the job and hit Print. Now we can see that the printer did lay down a white as a base, but there's still white areas missing. That's because the printer doesn't print white from the artwork itself. Any white in the image isn't recognized as printable. This is exactly why we create a separate white layer in CorelDRAW. It makes sure all the white areas actually print. Here's what we do next. While we were printing, I noticed that the material had lifted, so I removed the silicone mats from the bed and I used the suction system instead. This keeps the material stable during printing and prevents it from lifting again. Back in the workstation, I click New Job. The color file is still in the Layout Designer, but this will be the second job since we're going to print white first. I click Print, go to Properties, select Color Only and send the job to the workstation. Next, we import the white file we saved earlier from the desktop. We select to selected frame, click OK, and in Properties, we choose White Only as the print mode. This sends the job to the workstation. After every print, it's important to do a clean to keep the printer in good shape. There are two ways to do this. On the workstation, click the PM button for printer maintenance, then head cleaning and select Start. Or you can do it directly on the printer by pressing the Clean button. Either method ensures your print heads stay clean and the prints stay consistent. The white printed first, followed by the color only layer. The areas that are supposed to be white are still left out in the color file, but because we printed a white base first, those areas now actually appear white. This is exactly the purpose of the white base layer. It makes sure all the whites in your artwork actually show up on the print. And that's it. If you follow this workflow for exporting your files, your design will always be properly aligned and ready for UV printing. Remember, check alignment, set the right bleed, export correctly, and make sure your artwork size matches the size that you import to the workstation. That's what keeps everything consistent and predictable. In the next video, we'll do a beginner's guide on how to varnish, showing just how easy it is to add varnish to your UV prints. Thanks for watching, keep practicing, and you'll master UV printing in no time.